Yes, you cannot hit me from there, sir. Oh, really? He got killed just as I was about to shoot him? Okay, come on now. That didn't happen. Because I don't really want to get shot myself. But I'm hiding pretty nicely, to be honest. I'm hiding pretty nicely, so I don't think we're going to get attacked too easily. Hello and welcome back to the Ronin, and when we left off we were a little bit on a, well, I wouldn't say particularly a besieging spree, but we were attempting to attack the Western Empire quite a lot, and we did eliminate one of their extremely large armies. Anyway, we do have a little bit of a riding skill perk here. I wanted to show you this specifically because of this. Yeah, increasing mounted infantry campaign speed by 30%. That actually has a pretty significant bonus for us because a lot of our speed is currently, well, not a lot of our speed, but a pretty good amount. I think 0.085, actually not 0.885 is coming from mounted infantry due to the amount of horses that I currently have in our army. So nomadic traditions is really going to make a huge difference. Obviously the other one, melee cavalry in your formation gain plus 10% speed bonus. I mean, yeah, that's okay and everything, but it's not that good. Anyway, this is really good if you have the other perk from spotting or scouting, I believe it's called. Yeah, this one, where you can have a 5% chance of finding a mount. So if you have scouting 175 and riding 75 and you buy this, then, oh, well, not buy this, and then you upgrade this, then you have a better deal for buying and selling mounts, which in my opinion is really good, because that means that you'll be making even more money. And you can imagine that if that's paired with trade skill, not entirely sure if there's actually anything here to do with, you know, selling horses or anything like that, but you could do that. That's a lot of synergy right there. But I'm going to be taking the mounted infantry campaign speed increase. 30% is a pretty significant amount, so I'm quite happy about that. And everything else is looking pretty good here. As you can see, all of our combat skills are pretty high, so we don't really need to worry about putting focus points in those things. Charm skill, as we have found out, is actually not that good anymore, but the only thing that I really do want to think about is being able to earn experience still, because obviously there's still going to be kingdom decisions to make, and charm skill is usually the way that levels up. So, you know, whenever you make a kingdom decision, you gain charm skill. That's basically what I'm saying. Anyway, we're going to go for a focus point in leadership here, because inevitably I will want to get veterans respect, even though I'm not really having a huge amount of bandit units in my party or anything like that. And we should probably spec a little bit into intelligence as well, so we can get some more steward skill, more medicine skill as well, and of course more engineering, even though I've said before that perks in engineering are not currently working as far as I'm aware. Now we do have charm, as I said, almost maxed out, so it's more than likely I'm not going to be speccing into this any further, which is going to result in us leveling up much slower, because this bar at the top here, that is determining how many focus points and how many attribute points you actually end up getting. And in general, I would say that attribute points are maybe even more important than focus points, because attribute points affect the entire tree, whereas focus points only affect one skill in particular. And because I'd like to level up steward skill a little bit more, and medicine and engineering, I'm going to be speccing into that, and as you can see, it has raised that up. It did raise this learning rate up a bit, as far as I'm aware, but yeah, it's still going to level up, but it's going to level up a little bit slower than we are used to. So we'll see what happens with that. Anyway, I actually came across this army right here, and I wanted to help them a little bit quicker, but as you can see, I got here a little bit too late, even though I went in almost immediately. Yeah, that happens. Anyway, we were able to at least help them achieve victory slightly, even though it would have been nice to gain more relation with them, more charm skill and so on, but that's just how it goes. Anyway, we're going to head back. I was actually going to head back off screen to my own territory here. There's actually an army over here that I would like to fight. Here we go. Let's do it. We're not going to do an auto-resolve here. I would like to level my combat skills up a little bit more, and I'd like to maybe focus on some polearms potentially. And, well, actually, you know what? Maybe not, because we're kind of low in HP. Oh yeah, also I did change the difficulty a little bit. I'm gonna show you that after this. I just put it down 1 notch to player damage. Basically, I'm taking 2/3 of the normal damage now. So instead of us taking full damage, which obviously is, I mean, I feel like it's just not fun to immediately die in every single situation. And let's just say that I kept it on the same setting, and then I literally just stayed at the back of the battlefield. That's also not fun, because I'm basically just never getting into any kind of combat situation at all. Anyway, let's put these guys into shield wall formation. Let's tell our cavalry and our horse archers to charge in. Actually, oh, they're all counted as horse archers, apparently. Thought I mispressed for a second there, but no, apparently not. Anyway, let's move our archers a little bit forward here. I'm going to be telling my infantry to charge in, and hopefully I'll be able to do a little bit of stabby. Okay, never mind. Apparently my stabbiness is extremely inaccurate today. Very nice. Okay, I'm just going to get out my crossbow then. What? Did you see that? Did the bolt go right through his head? I'm not entirely sure. But now I'm getting shot. That is absolutely terrible. Okay, let me see if I can hide behind this. Here we go. Yes, you cannot hit me from there, sir. Oh, really? He got killed just as I was about to shoot him? Okay, come on now. That didn't happen. You see, I was so eager, right? So eager to shoot that guy as he was running away that one of my friendly units got in the way, and I was just like, ah, yes. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Anyway, that is indeed a victory for us. A decent amount of renown, actually. Kind of surprising that we got a good amount of renown for such a small battle, but I'm happy with that. I'm definitely happy. Alright, so let's just take all the loot. And she's actually running away. She's actually surviving here. I'm not a big fan of that, so we're going to have to do something about her. We're going to have to take her out. There we go. Not to dinner, but we're going to have to take her out nevertheless. And there we go. Fantastic. We'll get some food and all that stuff. Oh yeah, I have also, in an attempt to try and speed us up on the world map, I've gone to my inventory and tried to get rid of as many, shall we say, miscellaneous items as I possibly could. So in other words, some animals, some various other trade goods like flax and cotton and wool and all that stuff, because that being in our inventory is really not making any sense whatsoever. We're not really a trader or you know, of any kind, so us having those kinds of things in there is making no difference at all to our efficiency. And so I wanted to try and improve the speed at which we move, and that was the only way that I could really see to do that. So we're just going to do the same thing here with the smithing a little bit, and then we're going to go into the smithy real fast as well and see if there are any new parts that I might be able to get. Yep, there's one there, another there, and javelins. So if you don't know, if you want to make a huge amount of money with smithing, then you can either do as I did in one of the previous episodes, and you can make some two-handed swords maxed out on size. As far as I'm aware, that's also what makes a pretty big difference to it. But what you can also do is you can make javelins, and I'm just going to show you this just for prosperity, basically, just to show you exactly how to do this, just in case you want to earn a little bit of extra cash. Maybe you're having some difficulties, and this is the cheapest and easiest way to do it, because as you can see, it uses a very middle tier resource in terms of this bar here, and it only uses 1 wood, which is pretty insane. So we're just going to call it javelin. There we go. That's a very good thing to do. And as you can see, we gain a huge amount of smithing. What? That is even more than before. That is so incredibly... that is hilarious. It really is. 170,000 experience we just gained from making one of the simplest weapons in the world. Well, there you go. It's kind of a way for you to make some money, but it also is a way for me to level up specifically. So if I wanted to, I could make another couple of these, and I could probably level up my smithing skill even further. So what do we have right now? We have 199, and we have a learning rate of 1.31. So generally, that would probably make sense. So I'm going to go for trade penalty while selling smithed weapons, mainly because just dependent on if I make a trash weapon, I'll just sell it. But I'm not going to sell these really expensive ones, because what I'd like to do with those is I would potentially like to give those to a noble or something like that in some negotiations. I know some people have suggested that I trade my weapons and my, you know, a little bit of money and so on and so forth to various nobles in exchange for some fiefs. Now, the main reason why that is actually not possible is because of the trade skill. Everything has a price. This is it. It is a 300 skill level perk. And personally, I don't think it's possible to get to 300 trade unless you have some mods installed that will enable you to level up trade faster. Because here's the thing, operating caravans and the profit that you gain from them, I believe that is still not fixed in the base game. So you're going to need a mod that gives your caravans trade skill and you know, gives you the gains from that. That's basically what I'm attempting to say right there. Anyway, I'm going to go into the smithy here because I'd like to make another javelin specifically just to get me to the next level of smithing skill, because that's going to give us more attribute points, and that really makes a huge difference. So I'm going to call it pointy stick of death. There we go. Adding anything, you know, of death to something is definitely the way to go. Unfortunately, I still have not gained it. I am absolutely livid right now. I would love to be able to do something about that. So let me see if I can do something like this. And this is, oh yeah, wait a minute. I didn't increase the size. That was the main problem right there. Yeah, that was the main problem. Okay, pointy stick of death, 0.2. There we go. That's much better. There we go. Okay, I'm at 214. I need a little bit more. 0.3. Let's go for that one. I see now. It's becoming stupid now, because I need 225 to get those attribute points. I don't think I'm going to be able to do it. Let me see if I can make it. No, I'm only gaining 1 skill point now. That is actually really sad. But we're going to make one more just to level up once again. As you can see, do you see the amount of experience I'm gaining right now? Oh, wait a minute. I'm actually getting 2 skill points in smithing now. Okay, that's interesting. I'm not entirely sure why that would have changed, but apparently it is. Anyway, we're going to go for another point in smithing here, just so that I can try to maximize the amount that I'm getting from this. And then we're also going to be spending a point in steward just to improve that a little bit. And we have 2 attribute points to spend now as well. And I'm thinking I'll probably go for 1 in social and 1 in cunning, so that my scouting skill can continue to level up at a pretty brisk pace, because scouting is always useful. That's the thing. It is always useful. And obviously the other things that I have here, the other combat skills and things, they're already perfectly fine, because I've barely done any combat really. You know, I haven't really focused on leveling those things up or anything like that, so it's really making it's making it a bit difficult, you know, a bit difficult to get those things leveled up. And I would also like to return to Tetsujin territory for a very specific reason. I would like to go and get some more units, but I'd also like to try and find a Naginata so that I can potentially smelt that down and gain the Naginata blade, which is going to then enable me to make my own pole arms that can actually slash, which is going to be the best way to go. So there we go, 14 skill points. Boom. Another 8, another 6, another 3. I'm getting carried away here because I'm getting addicted to gaining so many skill points over and over. Okay, so we're just going to leave it at that. We're just going to leave it at that. I went way too overboard right there, but anyone can do this, and this is not for money's sake. This is just to level ourselves up a little bit, to make it just that little bit simpler for us to gain those all-important and extremely fun-to-use skills. So if you wanted to sell these, as you can see, they're going to sell for 106,000 each. But I'm not going to be doing that. I'm going to keep them on me just in case there's some person or another that may be persuaded to let us go, potentially. If there's any kind of situation where I need to run away or something like that, then that's going to be very useful for us. And personally, I feel like we're doing all right on money as it is. But that's a good way that if you're struggling, and there are a lot of people out there that maybe not as good as you specifically, or maybe, you know, not as good as me, but that's the thing. I'm not actually that good. I'm just lucky sometimes. But also I know these tricks, you know. I know these tricks, and that's the reason why I'm giving those people this kind of information, so that maybe they can start to have more and more fun in the game, because that's the point. Having fun is the actual point in gaming, at least in my opinion. Anyway, we're going to be leveling up our endurance once again, Because that is, actually, we could get a focus point in one-handed and two-handed, or we could get an attribute point. I'm thinking maybe a focus point at this time. I think that might actually make more sense. What do you think? Oh, I wish this was a live stream right now, because then we could take a vote on it or something. But I think I am going to... I don't know, actually. Because I have a good amount of attribute points already. I have a lot of attribute points coming in. Focus points are not that important, but it's 2 focus points instead of 1 attribute point. So I think this is actually better. We're going to take this, and then we will also do cut damage of crafted weapons is increased by 2%. We're going to do that, and then obviously this one is a 5% chance to create a legendary weapon. That's probably not something that I'm going to be doing, unfortunately, and unless I actually level up my smithing skill to 275. I mean, I might, you know, there's always that possibility. And I'm going to put another point in vigor here, because I'd actually like to level up my two-handed and one-handed just that little bit quicker. And maybe I'll put a focus point in two-handed as well. I'd like to level up my two-handed quite a bit in the next couple of battles, so I'm hopeful that that will help us out a big deal. Yes, hopefully it will. Alright, so we're just going to sell the remaining little bits of... Oh dear, I seem to have completely bankrupted them in like 2 seconds. Okay, here we go. Alright, 29,000, yeah, that's exactly what I mean. You can literally just sell huge amounts of loot and armor and all kinds of things and gain massive, massive money. Anyway, I'm going to be heading back to Tetsugen territory, as I said. I'll try and find a Naginata, and then I'll also try to recruit and restabilize the amount of units that I have in my army at the moment. Alright, so I'm here in the tavern in one of the Tetsugen towns, and there's a good reason for that. I'm doing the in and out quest. This is also a way for newer players or just people that are having some big problems, like let's just say you've gotten taken prisoner and you have a handful of recruits to your name and you're being hounded by bandits all over the place and you have a little bit of cash left over from your previous adventure. Well, the best way to go about that is to take some tasks, of course, and this is probably the best task for the most minimal effort, apart from the Deliver the Herd quest. Of course, the Deliver the Herd quest is very good, especially in Aserai territory, but that's another story. Anyway, let's just save ourselves some trouble, and I'll pay you that amount, and boom, look at that. I pay 1,000, and I gain 6,000, so I basically, literally, just gained 5,000 gold. And that's it. Super easy. So it looks as though to me that the Tetsugen have actually decided to start a war declaration against the Aserai. However, they have also started to kind of recuperate their combat strength a little bit, because they were all the way down at 3,700 combat strength a little while ago, but they seem to have, well, bolstered themselves somewhat. Now, the main problem that I'm seeing right here is that we are going to be overextending ourselves quite dramatically, but you can already see here that I've already selected 100 influence on the vote here, because let's face it, if I were to select this and go for 100 influence, it makes no difference whatsoever, and these people would still go through with their vote. So I might as well just, well, I might as well just vote with the majority in this particular case, and we'll see what we can do. But 20,000 charm XP is always welcome, and we are now going to see what we can do against the Aserai. Now, bear in mind that the last time the Aserai actually were aggressive towards us, we really didn't have that much. Well, specifically, my character didn't have that much, and we were not really able to do too much against them. However, this time around, that is a little bit different. I have an army at my command. I have a decent amount of, well, various skills that I may be able to employ to, you know, gain victory over the opponent. And, yeah, that seems pretty good to me. So let's have a look at this. Very nice. Okay, I think we're probably going to be attacking this town, and hopefully, because it is relatively close to Odrisa Castle, I might very well gain some kind of claim over it, especially if I am the one to initiate the proceedings in taking it. So we'll see what we can do, but first we're just going to spec a couple of points. Let's take a look at this. Heroes generate shared experience. That might actually be pretty good. Yeah, I'm gonna take Leader of the Masses. That seems pretty nice. And then we have Scouting 200. Trade penalty within villages of your faction is decreased by 10%, obviously for traders. And trade penalty within cities. Oh, okay. well, this is all basically useless. The only thing that is really good here is obviously the detection range if you want to kill a lot of hideouts, and the villager parties being 10% larger is pretty good, but that is a governor skill, and as far as I'm aware, that only works if you are indeed the governor of that particular town or village or something. So I'm going to go for the hideout detection range, even though that is absolutely pointless in my opinion, but you know, that's what we're going to have to go for. Okay, so otherwise, let's do it, shall we? Let's go in, and I did just complete a task to train 20 units, and I gained about 6,000 experience for that. Super easy to do. Just go in, auto-resolve against bandits if you've got a decent enough army to be able to auto-resolve, and then you should be fine. Should be able to get good experience for those units to level up fast. Okay, so what we're going to do first is we're going to do a bit of an insurance policy right here, and my insurance is generally going to be battering rams, followed by 2 siege towers. That's basically the standard sort of thing to do, even though personally I prefer to do something a little bit different most of the time. In other words, I prefer to go for trebuchets and then just, you know, put them into the backup area and then just take them out whenever you need them. So that's generally what I'm going to do here. We're going to move them to the reserve. They're going to be attacked a little bit here and there, but that's not really going to make too much difference, I don't think. They're not going to take too much damage from that. At least I hope not. If they do, then that's obviously pretty bad, because we're going to take casualties from them being destroyed. Here we go. Alright, so that's perfectly fine. Let's just wait for them to shoot once more. Let's hope there's not going to be a massive Aserai army coming towards us right now. But that's the reason why we have the insurance policy in place. Because if we have reduced their garrison strength by a significant amount, and then an army comes along, then we might still be able to go in and see what we can do with it. That's basically what I'm attempting to do here. Anyway, we do have an engineering perk. Catapults are 30% more effective. As I say, all of these things are probably not working anyway, and they're pretty terrible. Okay, so what else do we have? Oh. I actually thought construction speed was related to engineering, siege equipment, and stuff like that, but unfortunately this steward skill is for governors only. However, there is a quartermaster perk here. Prisoners in your party provide carry capacity as if they are a normal troop. That's actually pretty good if you are a trader. Once again, I'm not really a trader at the moment, so it doesn't make much sense for me, and I'm not even the quartermaster of our own army. I haven't selected any particular tag for myself because I'm not really wanting to focus on any skill specifically. I just want to level up all of them. Anyway, mercenary troops, wages and upgrade costs are decreased by 25%. I don't have any mercenary troops, so I guess I'm going to have to go for forced labor, I suppose, even though it's not really going to give me any kind of benefit. But I'm hopeful that we will still be able to continue murdering all of the people in the garrison here and try to weaken it up a little bit. As you can see, most of the time, whenever we destroy one of these catapults, a decent amount of units are eliminated from the defense. And that's the whole reason why I wanted to begin this attack. Even if we're not able to destroy the walls, we will be able to reduce their overall combat strength, which is the main deal here. Anytime you can reduce an enemy's combat strength for any reason whatsoever, it is a good idea to take that path, even if it does require a little bit of extra effort to pull off, especially this one. This is definitely taking more effort than me just going in there, but it is much safer, you know? Much, much safer, in fact. However, the main problem with it is that indeed we are also going to be losing a lot of units over time, because when our trebuchets get destroyed, yes, indeed, we will lose some units as a result of that too, but I think the overwhelming majority of casualties is coming from the opponent right now, so we shouldn't have to really worry too much, but we can just cross our fingers and hope that this particular injured trebuchet is not going to eventually succumb to its wounds, so to speak. But now, look at this. They have 0 walls. It seems like the developers may have made siege equipment much stronger. Is that just me? But it seems like they've taken down the walls in no time at all. It feels like I've been waiting here for, well, no time. It's kind of strange. I'm kind of a bit confused by that, because usually it would take an inordinate amount of time to get these things going. But in this case, no, not so much. Oh, they're actually... What? What? Are you serious right now? This is a Tetsugen vassal. Okay, they're still outnumbered. But this is a Tetsujin vassal that has defected to the Aserai. This guy would be very, very difficult for us. But thankfully, he's using mostly Aserai units. Although they are heavy cavalry, he's actually doing a fantastic job leveling up his Aserai, shall we say, comrades, I suppose, because obviously they're now his people, and he's not fighting for the Tetsujin any further, which is extremely surprising to me. I wouldn't have expected any of those guys to defect in those situations, but it happens, you know? It happens. Anyway, I think I'm actually going to get off my mount here, and I'm going to try to be a little bit more crossbow heavy in this particular fight, and if the cavalry decides to come in, or if we, you know, want to do a little bit of attacking, then we can, of course, do that with our two-handed and try to level that up as well. So I'm going to tell my cavalry to charge in, horse archers to charge in as well. You may see that the horse archers are being told to charge in twice, but don't worry about that. The game sometimes deems cavalry, if they're tagged as cavalry, as horse archers because they are they have a predominantly ranged skill set. That's basically what I'm trying to say there. But anyway, let's move these guys down here a little bit, move my archers ahead, and we'll move these into a shield wall formation as well. Let's take our cavalry back, take our horse archers back as well, and just try to do a little bit of a hit and run kind of style here, because even though I said that I wanted to level up my crossbows, it seems like maybe my forces need a little bit of assistance while I'm on horseback too. So we'll see what happens here. Obviously, going in myself is not a good idea, but I'm going to try and deal a little bit of damage to the front lines just before they hit our cavalry, shall we say, just before they hit our infantry, that is. And we're now going to tell our cavalry to charge in once more. Nice. We're doing some good damage, actually. Very surprised that we're doing good damage. Ah, get him. Yes. That was some nice damage right there. Okay, now bear in mind that I don't actually have a decent amount of focus points in polearms, so obviously that's going to be a little bit... Oh, hello. Are you serious? No. You will not take me out, thank you. Anyway, point is, we don't have a huge amount of focus points in polearms, so it is going to make leveling it up a little bit slower, but of course, that's not too bad. I think we're kind of close to the next level, so we might very well be able to get another point in it, which would be quite nice. But if not, then so be it. Not a big deal. Anyway, I'm just trying to reduce the amount of damage that I take here just by being a little bit evasive. And look at this, we're actually surviving. Can you believe it? I can't. Now we're going to tell our infantry to charge in here, finally, because they are close enough to the archers to not take significant casualties from the incoming fire. And we're just going to continue doing damage ourselves as well. And hopefully we will not get taken out. Oh, I could swear that was about to hit him, but apparently not. Ah, what a shame, what a shame. That would have been so nice. Super hard amounts of damage right there, but no. That would have been very, very cool. Yeah, oh, okay. Getting shot a little bit more here. Let's move my archers into a better position to hopefully kill some of the stragglers that may indeed be running. As you can see, this fellow is. Yeah, I'm pretty terrible with the thrusting of the polearm here. Might need to do more couch lances. Are there any other people running away here? Doesn't seem like it. Seems like most of them are being eliminated. Not bad. I feel like we killed quite a few. How many did we actually kill? Let me take a look. Because we can find that out very quickly by just scrolling down. I killed 8. Right. Yeah, I was actually thinking that I killed more than that, but alright. Okay, 78 renown, 48 influence actually, and almost 10 morale. Pretty nice. I'm going to let her go, and I'm actually thinking of taking this guy prisoner because he is indeed a Tetsujin defector. He is honorable and fearless, however. He has 2 extremely positive traits, character traits. I'm actually kind of a bit in two minds about this, because on the one hand, I'd like to take him prisoner so that he is not as powerful on the battlefield the next time we see him, because of course, he's going to have less time to recuperate and all that stuff. But on the one hand, I'd like to gain a good amount of charm skill, and I think he's a good vassal in general, so I'm going to let him go. Oh, actually, I did. He's not a major vassal? Are you serious? I'm actually kind of surprised that he's not a major vassal. All right. Well, I guess that's good to know. All right, so I'm going to just take a bunch of Tetsujin units that we took prisoner there, and that's basically it. I'm not going to take any other prisoners because I don't want the Aserai to join me, and I'm far away from any of my garrisons at the moment, so even if I were to take a couple into my prisoner's hold, I wouldn't have anywhere to put them, which is the main issue there. Anyway, we're almost ready to continue the siege here, but I actually wanted to show you my difficulty settings, and I actually forgot to do this because that's me. I generally tend to forget things very often, and I apologize for that. Anyway, as you can see, I've reduced my player damage to 2/3, and this is obviously 1/3, which would be maybe a little bit too easy for us to survive. But as you could see in that battle right there, I was able to survive taking some damage, and we would have died if I had played a little bit more recklessly. But 39% HP after a battle like that, I think is pretty good. So I think this is a nice level to be on, because it's not ludicrously insane and you're not going to die almost instantaneously from it, but you're also going to be able to survive and indeed die if you make a mistake, which obviously is how it should be. Otherwise, let's continue the siege, and I'm hopeful that maybe I can reduce... more enemies coming. Is that the same guy? What? Wait a minute. I can't scroll up any further from the text log. It is the same guy. Are there two people? There are two people called that. There are two people called that. Is that his son? He's 19. He has an army. Indeed, that is him. That is hilarious. That is absolutely hilarious. My reaction was even funnier because I thought to myself, what? They're cloning them now and then sending them out with full armies or something like that? What? Okay, well, whatever the case, I'm just going to shoot once more, and now we're going to go in. There we go. Okay, so we have 262 against 182, I think. So we have a pretty significant size advantage, and of course, we do have an advantage in terms of the walls being already taken down. So we can pretty much just charge straight on in here and have no issues breaching and indeed capturing the town. So this, I hope, and let's cross fingers here, I hope this is going to be awarded to me. If it is not awarded to me, then I will be somewhat sour about it. But I can understand that maybe they want to give it to someone else. I mean, it is to be expected that someone else might benefit better from it. Nice headshot. Oh, yes. That's what we like to see. Another nice headshot. Gonna try and be a little bit quicker about shooting here, because I don't really want to get shot myself. But I'm hiding pretty nicely, to be honest. I'm hiding pretty nicely, so I don't think we're gonna get attacked too easily. These guys are all spearmen? Are they no ranged? Ah, they're putting up their shields now. As soon as they can see me, they put up their shields. But if I hide very, very carefully, maybe they won't. It seems like they've also detected that a number of my units are coming in here now, so obviously that's going to make a pretty big difference to their defensive efforts. But let's see if I can maybe get some two-handed... Yeah, come on. Get some two-handed skill. Come on now. Yes. Just a little bit. Just a little bit, you know? I don't really mind if I get killed, but I would prefer if I didn't. I'd prefer if I didn't. I'd prefer if I didn't. Let me run in here. There we go. I actually survived. Wow. Can you believe it? I would have died if that was on full damage, by the way. So we would be on the floor inhaling a bunch of sand right now, which would not be too nice. So I'm pleased that we're still up here getting ready to be killed by this archer. Because I was 100% assuming that I would be killed by that archer without any issues whatsoever. Okay, I'm going to bring out my crossbow, see if I can maybe shoot some people from up here. We got some archers over there that I might be able to take care of. Nice. In the shoulder, unfortunately not good enough damage. But now he's dead. Nice. Even just a little bit of experience here and there for the crossbow is going to be useful for us. Bear in mind that now we're on the top here, we should be able to also recuperate our ammunition. So we can actually get a little bit of a couple of bolts and things. Was there someone shooting me from over here? Is that an enemy? Or is that just a... Over there, do you see that? No, it's not an enemy. Alright. Okay, yeah, it seems like it's just like a fire or something like that. Okay, so now we can... Can I not get bolts from these arrow barrels? Ah, yes, I see. Okay, yeah, it's because the Aserai do not use crossbows that there are no replenishment little barrels for bolts. If this was the Imperial faction, then I'd be able to get bolts from these places. At least I think so. That seems to be the way it is. Anyway, we did suffer quite a few casualties. 22 is quite significant for even having the walls down, but I think it's pretty decent because we were able to further consolidate our territory in this particular area. And we're also now making it much easier for the Tetsujin to maybe expand further into Aserai territory. So I'm hopeful that that's going to work out quite well for us. And I think I would like to go and assist... Oh, I don't think I'm going to be able to do that, unfortunately. I would have liked to, but we are outnumbered way too much, and I am at this amount of HP. It's just not enough. That amount of HP is not going to be able to enter the, actually enter the battle manually, so it's going to be a bit of a problem. Polearm is actually not doing too badly. As you can see, my learning rate is still pretty high. As you can see, my learning rate for two-handed is much better. One-handed is okay as well. Writing skill might need a little bit of a boost. Maybe medicine needs a bit of a boost. Leadership is okay at the moment. Maybe. Steward skill, tactics. Not entirely sure what to level up now. Is there anything else, any other perk that is really going to help us a great deal? Increases troop wounded recovery ratio by 20% while in an army. Well, I'm not in an army right now. I technically am, but it's my army. I don't know whether it counts for that reason. Athletics might actually make sense, but bear in mind that I'm not usually on foot unless I'm in a siege. Gonna level up riding skill actually, because I usually have a mount. And then we'll spend one attribute point. Where are we gonna put it? Where are we gonna put it? What's best? In intelligence or in social? That's my choice, basically, I think, because there's no real reason for me to put it in control or endurance right now, because all of these skills are where I want them, basically, in terms of their learning rates and so on. So social would be charm and leadership, and intelligence would be steward, medicine, and engineering. It's probably best to do intelligence. Yeah, it doesn't even increase the green line right there, unfortunately. Well, I'll go for it. Why not? Why not? I think we're going to be able to level up pretty well as time goes on anyway, because we have such a wide spread of focus points. I know someone actually did mention that spreading your focus points like this is not a good idea, mainly because you're never going to get skills to their highest levels because the focus points are just not there. You know, they're not giving you that insane boost to learning speed. However, I might respectfully disagree about that, because if you think about it, just think about this. Because I'm using Bannerlord tweaks, I gain one attribute point per level, and I'm obviously able to have a pretty significant amount of attributes all spread throughout our perk tree. So I have a lot of high ranking attribute points now. Without Bannerlord tweaks, all of those would be at about 2 or 3. So I can definitely see your point if we were not using Bannerlord perks. Bannerlord perks. There's so many different things that I'm thinking about right now. I'm thinking about the website Bannerlord perks, because obviously that gives you all the information and everything. And I'm thinking about Bannerlord tweaks, and I'm thinking about the game Bannerlord. Yeah, never mind. I apologize. Misspeaking. Yeah, it's a talent. Yes, it's a talent. Anyway, I'm not going to be able to get this town, unfortunately, so I'm going to vote for myself anyway, just in case, but no, that's not going to work. I was hoping against hope that maybe I would have been able to get it. But anyway, as I said before, generally, I think that spreading your focus points in such a way is, in my opinion, pretty good, especially with Bannerlord tweaks installed. If you don't have Bannerlord tweaks, then it might be a little bit less good, because if you spread them like this, you're not really going to level things up that fast. But as you can see, the only reason why riding skill, two-handed, one-handed, and polearms are so low is because I haven't really been fighting that effectively. Most of the time, in the last couple of episodes, I've gotten myself taken out in the first, I don't know, first minute or so of the battle. And that is not good, obviously. That is not good, especially for one's personal character development. But in the case of my other skills and gaining experience through the use of them, that has gone absolutely swimmingly, and as a result I've been able to level up so many times that I am at level 29. I don't believe I've ever gotten to level 29 without using Bannerlord tweaks, which is obviously a bit of a problem on the base game's part. I think they need to do something about the experience gain that the base game has at the moment, because the base game, I know some people think that it's a challenge, or that it's more rewarding, or whatever you want to whatever you want to quantify it as. But for me personally, I would rather level up just a little bit quicker than have it be a huge grind, because grinding can be fun, but when you are slowed to such a crawl that it is turning into a bit of a chore and it feels like work, that's not so fun. So that's the reason why I think personally it would be a good idea for the developers to make the base game's experience gain just increased a little bit. And I'm not talking about a huge amount. I'm not talking about making it super, super easy or anything like that. But I'm just talking about helping people get to their final stages of the perk levels. Because as it stands right now, if you were to play, for example, a trader, you're never going to get 300 trade skill, not unless you install that caravan experience mod that I talked about earlier in the episode. You're never going to get 300 just from trading alone. You're going to need those caravans. You're going to need 5 or maybe a few less. I don't know, maybe like 3 or 4 maybe. Consistently making money for you to be able to get to 300 trade skill. It has been proven time and time again by me specifically that in my series, whenever I've concentrated on trade, that you are definitely going to need something to assist you in these kinds of endeavors. Because if you don't have that, you're going to suffer a great deal. And it is going to be day 1000, and the sun will have set on Calradia's factions, and one will rule over them all because you've taken so long to level up your trade skill that it will basically be pointless. So that's the thing that I kind of wanted to try and impart to you, that I'm not trying to say that it should be a super easy thing to do, but I'm saying that it should be just that little bit easier for people to get to the maximum perk, at least in one tree, because then you're going to be focusing on one tree much more, and it's going to be much, much more lucrative to do it that way. Anyway, it seems like people are running away right now. My infantry has been absolutely slaughtered, which I'm actually kind of irritated by. Not a big fan of that, actually. And I'm trying to use my two-handed here, but I seem to not be doing that much damage at all. Oh, no. Seems like I might very well get myself killed here. Hopefully not. Oh, I got hit in the head. I got hit in the head. Okay, hopefully my guys are going to be able to skirmish relatively nicely here. I mean, the enemy is basically done. Unfortunately, they had a huge contingent of very, very good infantry that were capable of using thrown weapons. And from the distance that I was standing in, they were able to just do so much damage to us that it was insane. It really, really was. Anyway, this guy is actually... Isn't he the leader of the Aserai? Wait a minute. No, he can't be, surely. This is just clan tier 2. Surely he's not the leader. Wait a minute. Who's the leader now? Because Unkid was obviously killed a while ago, so I'd like to know who the leader is. Nukar. Aha. Right. Good to know. Okay, next time I see him, I'm going to take him prisoner if I can. We're going to let this guy go. We're going to give us some decent charm skill. And also, look at this. We gained 37 troops to rescue. I'm not going to be using all of these, of course, but I'm going to place the rest in our garrison. I'm going to take the rest of these prisoners as well, because I'm actually going to be going to my garrison after this, because this is the end of this episode. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.